What's up, YouTube? This is Big Fish here with another reaction video. Today we got a double header. First we got a CNN. Erin Burnett. She loves to try to, bring down her own skin color. We all know there was a shooting that happened at the NFL building out in New York, and the gentleman was possibly white, but I'm pretty sure we can all say that he wasn't white. But let's get into it.
Join you here to John's reporting that they do know what he looks like. Male, possibly white, mustache, sunglasses, in that building, isolated to, they believe, to various locations, including upper floors, is where they're focused.
Now, look at this hair. Does that look like a white man's hair? Look at his skin tone. Look at this beard. Are we stupid? Or are we blind? Are we stupid or are we blind? I know I'm not. I know what a white person looks like. I've been around enough white people in my 29 years living on this earth to know what a white person. Are you stupid? How can you ever get confused? Why do they love trying to bring down their own demographic? Just like 2 days ago in Cincinnati, we did that fight. They were not trying to publicize that anyway because it was black people. If that was black people getting attacked by white people, they would have tried to say that was a hate crime. That's crazy. That's actually literally wild. She should lose her job. Look at this.
CNN anchor Erin Burnett stated live on the air that the obviously not white man, quote, was possibly white. How ridiculous, embarrassing to attempt to politicize this tragedy. So if they were not white, it would have made better. If they were white, it would have made better for your headlines.
Honestly, the news might be canceled in the next 2 to 3 years because they're spewing just straight hatred left and right, trying to separate us. And the mainstream media wonders why they're losing so many ratings. One police officer did get killed. He was on off duty that day. That's sad to hear. A life that should not have been lost. And a gentleman did the coward's way out, and he shot himself in the heart. What a coward. What an absolute coward. Talking about he has CTE. Boy, please. You had enough sense to go in with an AR-15 and go kill all those people. CNN should be ashamed of themselves. They should fire Erin. They should fire her. Absolutely disgusting. Next, our favorite state, California. So we're going to talk about the fast food minimum wage backfiring. What's new with California? Everything they do almost backfires in their face. It's quite the spectacle.
Welcome back. California getting yet another hard lesson in economics. The state implemented a $20 minimum wage for fast food workers in April.
Think about that.
That was April.
Think about that. You went to college for 4 years, 6 years to go for whatever degree you went to, and a McDonald's employee is basically making the same thing you could be making. McDonald's employee, $20 an hour. Now, you think that's going to help you in the economy that you're in, or is it just going to drive up prices in your neighborhood? Let's see.
April of 2024, a little over 1 year later, it's estimated that the state has hemorrhaged, get this, 18,000 jobs.
Look at this. They lost 18,000 jobs after implementing $20 an hour for minimum wage. Oh, and it's not even increasing the employment. Oh my
The
gosh.
opposite of the employment trends across the rest of the country. And
Gavin
I said this
Newsom.
before COVID
Stupid.
when they were advocating for $15 minimum wage, and then during COVID when wages did go up because we saw such massive inflation, that if the price of your Big Mac meal and that's what an average person can buy for lunch is $15, but they're making $15 an hour, then you sort of defeat the purpose of the higher wage. California took it to the next level to the point where businesses then couldn't be competitive and they had to lay people off. Lou.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in your intro, a hard lesson in economics. We knew what was going to happen, and yet they willfully went forward. This is a math problem. It's a math equation that can be easily solved before you put into place a really bad policy. Beyond having to lay people off, businesses leave and flee states that require higher minimum wages. We need to remember, it's a minimum wage. It's not supposed to be
In and out. They're still going to be in California, but we know that their headquarters, they're actually moving to Tennessee, my home state. A Republican state. Shocker. I don't think so. But yeah, just too much crime out there. There's just too much crime out in California. I believe they had to shut down one of their spots. I can't remember what city it was in, but they had to shut down one of their in-and-outs. There's too much crime out there.
a living wage, and I think those are the distinctions. We need to provide a pathway, training, opportunities to get people from those jobs into the next level where it is higher wages, not force the bottom up and force businesses to bear the brunt of it because they can't.
Yeah, and yesterday we talked about In-N-Out Burger not wanting to stay in California or its headquarters.
Listen. I didn't pre-watch this video. Listen. I didn't pre-watch this video. I did not.
And, you know, you've seen so much business move to the south, to Texas. You've seen Florida take off, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. All of these states have lower costs of labor, and they're very popular with employers, and there's a good reason for it. I just see this trend continuing and not going away.
Well, the minimum wage crowd has this weird habit of always wanting to use like the stick of the minimum wage to bring people's pay up. And they always seem to be the least cognizant people that there are other ways to get that work done if you back a business into a corner. It's like we talk about AI every day. We talk about technology every day. They refuse to accept that if you price out businesses from their workers, businesses will hire technology.
I was actually thinking about getting into mortgages, but one of my friends told me that AI is about to start taking over that sector, and I was like, damn. Well, I'm going to have to start falling back on a different plan. I might go into trade school. Right now, I'm a server. It makes good money. We know no tax on tips is coming next year. But I definitely don't want to serve my whole entire life. So I definitely probably will be going to trade school, but let's see how this no tax on tips thing goes. Because if I'm making buku out the booty, then I might just stay in that life.
That's what happens. Like some of these, there may be some restaurant closures in California, but actually what they're doing is we see this everywhere. It's kiosks. So like what you've done with you can raise the minimum wage and put people out of work, or you can support pro-growth policies and give businesses an incentive that's sustainable to hire new workers and train them up. But the left loves coercion more than they love the outcome they're seeking, which is a better life for workers.
And let me tell you something, now that I have an opportunity. I get very annoyed at the kiosks because sometimes they don't work and you still need a human to fix them, but there's only one human and there's 50 kiosks or 50 self-checkouts. You still need a human being there. And this brings us back to the issue we were talking about AI with Charles Payne, what it can do for your business, how much more efficient it can make you, how it can get rid of jobs as well and save you money. But at the same time, you just cannot replace humans, even in the most simple ways.
That's exactly right. And imagine the worker.
I will agree on that. Technology definitely has its faultiness, and it definitely sometimes backfires on you. I remember there was videos where they were working around robots, and sometimes the robots would freak out and just start flailing their arms and just attacking and shit like that. Like, honestly, it's a give and take with AI. It really is. Yeah, it's gonna be big in the long run once we actually get it. But look at Gronk. I think that Elon Musk made. It started getting racist. Started spewing Nazi rhetoric. What? And then that executive left Twitter after all that stuff happening. because she wasn't feeling it, which is hilarious. Like, how did start spinning Nazi rhetoric, Elon? No, I like Eli better.
Who goes to her boss and says, pay me more or I'm going to pass a law, instead of saying, I want to work harder, I want to learn more, I want to elevate my contributions to this company, and then pay me more as a result. The truth is, Lou, that the average wage in America is about $32 an hour. All the folks who are earning money average that out. It's about $32 an hour. Why? Because they started off, as we all do, growing up, with a fast food job for a couple months. They learn those skills and they move on up.
I'm not sure if Kamala actually did or didn't.
Well, President Trump certainly worked for a few hours.
Yeah.
And that'd be the smallest of her lies, was the McDonald's one.
Right.
You know.
I don't know.
I think, but the kiosk.
She was saying she was cooking collard greens in a tub. I know that's a lie.
Not working is a pain, I agree with you. But actually, the bigger problem for Democrats who push this is the kiosks do work. They work really well. And it's not just kiosks.
Correct.
It's in an Amazon warehouse. It's robots that can move things.
Robots now.
Like, it is... there are people like to complain that the technologists are putting humans out of work, but there's nobody who's better at putting humans out of work than the humans in government. You got it. That's exactly
right.
right.
Look, these kiosks have been around for years. I mean, it was almost 10 years ago. I was in Seoul, South Korea, and every fast food restaurant had kiosks. They were replacing the workers a decade ago. So this is a willful decision in the United States to keep employing people over technology. It's not technology's fault. If you lose your job, it's not to AI. It's because you don't know how to use AI. It's our role to teach people how to use the new tools of technology.
But it's also the government's job to stay out of it. The government shouldn't be forcing us to make that decision. When I walk into a McDonald's or a BJ's or a Walmart, I think about my mom, who raised me and my sister when she was a cashier along with my dad. She wouldn't have had that job. She wouldn't have been able to support us as a family. And so that's a decision folks have to make. If the free market's going to make that decision of its own volition, so be it. But Zohran Mamdani needs to keep his grimy paws off of that decision for businesses to make independently.
I'll second that. And I'll also talk about minimum wage generally, where I started the conversation, which is that under Joe Biden, when inflation spiked up to over 9%, real wages actually went down, even though minimum wage came up and most people were seemingly on the top line of their paycheck making more. The cost of living had gotten so expensive that they actually were.
And that's the best point right there. Inflation is actually down right now. Thank God for Trump. Came into office. I guess a businessman being the president actually makes a lot of sense. Not having politicians corrupting the system and trying to feed their pockets and their billionaire friends. As Kamala raised $1.5 billion in several months. And they always talking about Trump. Well, not Fox. Fox is actually pretty cool. Actually, there's one person on there, Jessica Tavrigan, whatever her last name is. She's trash. They need to go and get her off there. And they need to give Scott Jennings his own show on CNN. I said it. Minimum wage going up for these fast food workers in Walmart and Safeways. It ain't gonna help. It's just gonna F you over in the end of the day. It really is. And most of these people who are living beyond their means, they be spending their money on stupid stuff, putting stuff on layaway. Half these people don't even know how to save their own money, to save their own lives. And then, we already know, a lot of black women are losing their federal jobs. So what are they about to turn to? DoorDash? What are they about to turn to? Lyft? Uber? It's hard out here for y'all. Y'all better find y'all a man. Get in that kitchen and shack up. Yes, cat. Man, my cat's over here going crazy. Alright, this is another reaction video from Big Fish. Go down to the comment section. Tell me how you felt about the video. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Thank you. Peace.